Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's now December 4th, 2017. It's very early in the morning here, Mountain Standard Time, about, well, probably close to 1 a.m. or so. But I wanted to put up some information tonight. Hi, hi everyone. I might not have a chance to do it in the morning, and so I felt that it was important that I get this done now. Uh, I'm going to cover the information on the LVMPD first. I was going through Twitter tonight, and as most of you know, I don't mean to be unsociable on Twitter. I don't follow many people, and that's because if I take all of my time up trying to follow, everybody, then I can't get information to you that I need to present to you that I feel like is important. So I use Twitter partly as one of my open source news information sources. And sometimes intelligence information too, open source intelligence. I have others, but when I saw this, I thought that it was important that I should bring it up. Most of you probably know who Laura Loomer is. She started off, I think, with Project Veritas and then went out on her own as an independent. And she did a really excellent job. Well, she's done an excellent job on just about everything she's done. And she was in Las Vegas following up on the Las Vegas massacre there at the Highway 91 Harvest Festival. And of course, she got on Sheriff Lombardo's nerves because she had the guts to ask the questions that the mainstream media won't, because the mainstream media, of course, as we all know, is CIA, FBI, and that they're there to make sure that the government narratives always get followed through on. They'll never get outside the box. Well, I was looking at my Twitter tonight, and like I say, I just decided I can't wait till tomorrow to put this up because this is crazy. Okay, we all know that with the Las Vegas shooting that there was a lot more to it than Sheriff Lombardo told us, the FBI, etc., etc. And actually, they put a lid on the fact that this was partially the opening shots of the Saudi civil war and attempted coup, and also an attack on Trump supporters. Trump himself, Trump may have even been a high-value target there in Las Vegas. Jake Morphonios of End Times Reporting, Shepard Ambulis of IntelliHub. A lot of people have put in information with all of these different cell phone footages. Mike Adams with his forensic audio analysis of the gunshots, everything that we've done, looking at the flight plans and the FAA logs and the radar, everything, we know that this was a massive attack along the strip, partially to assassinate high-value targets, as we've talked about, possibly Prince Salman of Saudi Arabia, and very possibly President Trump himself, who may have been there on a classified mission, or one of the people from the executive branch. We're not really sure, but it's looking very much like it was probably President Trump. Well, that tied to the ISIS attacks, who, of course, the rogue elements of Saudi Arabia. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt there. The government of Saudi Arabia was a problem, but Trump going to Saudi Arabia gave them that ultimatum, and so there's this cleaning of house that's going there, right? Joe Biggs. Somebody asked me about Joe Biggs. I'm not sure. Let me get to the questions in a minute. I'm sorry. I always give a lot of background information. So the point is that you have the FBI, Aaron, I forget Rouse, the FBI special agent in charge there, Aaron Rouse, constantly standing over and glaring down at Lombardo, who obviously became very nervous and very upset. Couldn't get anything straight. It was one of the worst examples of a police investigation I've ever seen in my entire life. Kind of normal for the FBI, And there's a lot of problems in the LVMPD. It's a very corrupt police department. Not saying all the officers are bad, but certainly there are a lot of things wrong there, which I'm not going to go into right now. I kind of hinted about it in some other places, but I did want to bring this up. So we have this whole thing going on in the shooting, and all of this attempted cover-up by different people in the LVMPD and the FBI. And Laura Loomer reported 2 weeks ago that LVMPD Sheriff Lombardo is now not going to seek re-election. Well, then she said that the assistant sheriff, Fasulo, I guess is his name, is retiring. Whoa. And now the LVMPD undersheriff, Kevin McMahon, is also going to retire, claiming health reasons. This is not very common, okay, for all of those people at once in the command structure to be leaving. So they're either doing it because they're being forced to by the powers that be, or their conscience is so seared that they can't deal with it anymore and they don't want to be on the front lines. Could be a lot of things going on here, but that's unprecedented, and I wanted to talk about it and tie it in because I didn't want you to think that we'd forgotten about the Las Vegas shooting because of how horrendous that was and what its real purpose was again, the Saudi civil war, the coup, the attack on Trump supporters, the attack on Trump, and a message by the leftist side of our government, the rogue side of our government, that Trump is not in control and that they can pull these things off at a time and place of their choosing. And it was one of those things that I think Trump finally realized at that point that he was in a real war. Not that he didn't know before, but being a businessman and yet not really having been in the military or in the law enforcement side of the house, he was making these preparations. But as I said in the video that I mentioned earlier tonight on the coup succeeds, Trump concedes thing that I made back last summer, not like today, which somebody out there is trying to say that I did. But the point is that I think he finally realized that this thing is a lot hotter than he thought it might be. So these guys on LVMPD, I think, see the heat coming down either from their handlers or from the fact that their consciences have seared them, or they're just afraid of what's coming and they're trying to get out of the way. I really don't know, but I needed to bring that up because that's how important this is. When you see this type of flight from the upper command structures of an organization, it means something serious, okay? So that's the first thing I wanted to bring up. We'll kind of follow it and see what's going on there. And then the other thing is that I put out that video this evening about this military alert. And I've double checked, and in fact, yes, it's the case. And as I said, we're not sure whether it's an alert to, a lot of different forces or just specific forces. And I'm being somewhat non-committal here on exactly who it is, because that's not a good idea to do. But we're not sure if it means it's, like I said, a 72-hour alert right now, or whether they've been told that they have to be ready within 72 hours when they're notified. And the reason why I'm going back to this is because I want to tell you how it worked when I was in the military, so you'll understand why I was concerned about this. You have drills in the military, and we also know, of course, that there's a large war game going on at the Korean Peninsula right now, with the U.S. military. So we have that going on. There's an active, out of sync, I guess I could say, not scheduled military operation, a military war game going on there, okay, which is of concern. But then you get this 72-hour alert. As I was saying, when I was in the military, the way it worked was you'd have occasional drills, and they're called alert musters. And there are different types, but basically, you do your duty day, and then you're home or in your barracks or whatever, and all of a sudden you either get a phone call, or the first sergeant or the platoon sergeant or whoever comes in and tells everybody that they've got to get up and get their gear together, and they have to be out and muster, okay, within a half hour, an hour, whatever the drill is calling for. And they get everybody out there, and they might just have a roll call, or you might actually begin to deploy. You might actually go to a plane and go somewhere, it really depends on what the drill is for and what they're trying to find out. And they're different, what they call readiness conditions. And so the readiness condition 1 groups are going to be tested on this frequently, which I was in a strategic army force, and so a strafe unit. And so, we go through these musters quite frequently. But they're usually unannounced. They're not going to tell you in advance, hey, we're going to have a muster tonight, be ready to answer your phone, okay? And you see the deal here? So what happened this time is that these individuals told us that they, as a matter of official notification to them, that they had to be ready to go within 72 hours when they got their call. And of course, that's kind of nebulous. They could be telling us, one, that they've already had the call and they've had to get ready to go within 72 hours, or that when they get the call, you see what I'm saying? That then they'd have to be ready to go in 72 hours. But frankly, under most conditions, okay, if you get a call, you're not going to have 72 hours, all right? You're going to have to report a lot faster than that, and you're not going to be pre-notified of it most of the time. So you see that there's some other factors in here that we got to take into consideration, okay? So I wanted to just bring that up to you. This is a live stream, and of course, as you know, I don't have a microphone for my phone. It doesn't work because it's only for headphones. But these real quick updates, I like to do the lives just so we can get them done. So I wanted to kind of explain those two things. All of this that's happening in Vegas, from the Bundys to the shooting there on the Strip, everything. Nevada is key because it is close to the human trafficking that's going on there, both women and children, the drugs, the arms, just a lot of, it's a hub for a lot of those things. And you've got, the Janet area of the McCarran Airport there, which takes those military and private transportations up to what used to be Area 51. And then, of course, they could disseminate their illegal contraband from there all over the world. And that way they're not using commercial transportation. So, at any rate, there's a lot there that's still going on with the situation now with the sheriffs and the undersheriffs and the assistant sheriffs all retiring at the same time. We're seeing something really serious here. And then, like I said, I wanted to clarify a little bit more on this alert. So it is for real on this alert. We're just not sure due to what they call operational security, which these people will still follow even if they give us a heads up. It could go any of those ways that I was just saying. But given war gaming going on the Korean Peninsula right now, and with all the stuff that's going on in our government, everybody being exposed for the criminals and the corrupt people that they are, I think we've got to keep our thinking caps on and have our preparations ready. Okay, let me see, since we're already on here, let me see if I can answer any questions to everybody. Ships being broadsided that's another thing. Well, why did that happen? Was somebody basically tinkering or attacking our computer networks, on the ships? It's very possible they could have been hacked. Everyone crooked in D.C. should be in a boot. Well, I hope it gets there, Brandy. I really do, because it's long overdue. Let's see. Okay, might be waiting for that cold front to hit the states. Less protesters. Well, that's an advantage, of course. It's hard to say. Benjamin, go see Tracy Beans while you're up. Yeah, Tracy Beans, I put that out in that video. Tracy Beans is important. Scott Anthony's important. And Imperator Rex 3 on Twitter. Now, and I could name a lot of others. I really have a lot of respect for Jordan Sather. And I could just go down the list. But those are the three, especially Tracy Beans and Scott Anthony, because I'm working very closely with them. And it wasn't a formal thing, I got to tell you. It just kind of happened that the three of us got together and we have this team. It's really interesting, but it's worked out really well, as most of you can probably tell. Okay, so just to let you know. Lieutenant Colonel, what do you know about PMCs all? Oh, yeah, that's true. And that's another aspect of this whole military alert thing. Thank you for bringing that up, because that is very important. It is official that we know that private military companies have been put on an alert to be ready to go with something domestic in the United States. That came out about a week ago. Wasn't it about a week ago? 4 or 5 days ago, something like that. And so now that we hear about this military alert, that all kind of meshes and coalesces and coordinates there. So there really is something going on. Thank you for bringing that up, because that's very true. Thank you for that. I appreciate it very, very much. Okay, do they have any authority? You mean the PMCs? under contract, yeah, if the federal government, if the military says, look, we're handing you over, when they make these contracts, you're going to take care of this area of operation or this particular mission or whatever, sure, they'll have authority, absolutely. It'll be on the military side, but yeah, they absolutely would. A missile? Am I expecting a missile attack? No, I'm not sure what to expect at this point. Frankly, even with the technology that North Korea has been given by the Clintons and by Obama and by the Bushes and whoever else is involved, the CIA, I still think that the U.S. Defense system would shoot down or neutralize anything that North Korea has. Actually, I consider special operations forces from North Korea or their conventional forces on the DMZ to be the biggest threat, actually, more so than a missile. But one could slip through, and you have to take that seriously. Or they might not even fire at us. I mean, what if they just shoot Japan or Guam or South Korea or whatever? I don't know. So the point is that we can't even let it go that far. Because the CIA, you got to understand, the CIA, Obama, Clinton, all these people and organizations that belong to the New World Order, to the intelligence community, which is corrupt. This is an attack to try to get the United States to succumb, to surrender. Trump to say, okay, we're not going to fight anymore. So Trump has to go forward, as I've been calling for since January, February, that he has to go on the offensive. And so, yeah. So whether it'll be a missile or something else, I don't know. But you can see that the deep state, Trump is attacking them right now. And with all the information that we're getting about the FBI, and this guy's name, I still can't get it right. It's a really odd name. He apparently tweeted to his girlfriend that he didn't like Trump. That's the cover story. That's not what it's really about. And Tracy Beans really explains that, about what that's all about, and ties it into General Flynn and the general thing that's going on with this big sting operation. But at any rate, there's a lot happening right now. A lot of people on the left side are getting upset, and they're willing to do major things to keep from having to get arrested, thrown in prison, or even exposed for that matter. So again, just keep your thinking caps on, keep your eyes on the horizon, your ears to the ground, okay? All right, let's see what else I can do. How do you know about the 72 alert? I got it. I don't want to reveal the source, and I know that's kind of chicken shit. But these people, I don't know what kind of situation they're actually under. Let's just say that it was two military people that gave me that information. And again, when you look at the PMC deal, when you look at the wargaming going on in the Korean Peninsula, when you see what's happening internally in the United States, to even be told to be ready to go in 72 hours, okay, whether it means when you get the call or as of right now, this is pretty serious, okay? So that's the point. But it was a personal notification from military personnel, okay? And not low-rank people. These would be people that would, know what's going on. Now, it also, I have to hasten to add, doesn't mean that the entire military is on alert, although I suspect that's the case because of North Korea. But these were specialty people in areas that would be critical to response. Okay, so I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, Hillary would have us under martial law now. She could, and she'd have them all banging on our doors, taking our guns and our kids, and forcing us to take vaccines, and all of that. What's the deal with this latest zip code? Okay, I missed that. Hold on, let me bring you down here. What's the deal with the latest Q post with the Henderson zip code? I'm not exactly sure of that. I haven't looked at Q lately, but I understand it has something to do with a subterranean computer hideout where they're keeping computers off the grid. An intelligence operation or a rogue government operation, very likely. Apparently it's a place underneath a rather nice, house or whatever that has some questions. And I think that's what you're talking about. And I haven't looked in that to any great degree at this point. Resignations because they got caught running a capstone gun grab. Well, yeah, or covering for it, as in the case of Sheriff Lombardo, covering for it for sure. Let's see if I can get these things to come back up here. Okay. All right. Let me see what else we might have here that I can help out here. Yeah, he's shadowing Trump. Can you believe this guy? You know, Obama, he just won't let go. Neither will Hillary Clinton, because they're psychopaths, they're sociopaths. Okay, they're evil, and they don't want to give up power. And so he's out there. He's trying to circumvent. He's trying to outplay Trump. But Trump's in control. Okay, Obama is in control to a certain extent of the evil side, but Trump has got a good handle on things. Okay. Crisis actors, Harold. Yes, I think if you listen to any of my Las Vegas posts, the shooting actually did occur. I had a friend that was shot there, okay? Don't deny that it really happened, because it did. However, as I pointed out, there were also crisis actors used, whether it was the night of the shooting, which I'm not certain of, or whether it was the drills that were going on during that week, and they used the footage to enhance the entire confusion of the shooting. So there were crisis actors that were there being used. We have the crisis actor advertisement that came out in August. It's on one of my posts on YouTube. But the shooting actually did occur. There were people killed and injured. Absolutely 100%. Okay, there's no doubt about that. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Did the Langley raid really happen? Not the way a lot of people have explained it. And as I've said, there was no MEU that sat down or rumbled up in armored vehicles onto CIA Langley. No, it did not happen that way. The MEU was located at Naval Air Station Norfolk and Langley Air Force Base, which is across the bay from the Norfolk station. That's about 180 miles away from CIA Langley. No. Did they have some flyovers of Langley? Possibly. You know, we still don't have any real definitive evidence of that. Is it possible that Trump sent an envoy, which is what I've talked about, of some Marine officers to deliver a message? Yes, that's possible. An ultimatum. Is it possible that the NSA broke into the CIA computers and may have taken some information out? Yes, that's possible too, because Admiral Rogers is now working directly for Trump, and Trump has control of the NSA for sure, okay? But did the Marine Corps storm the place, go inside and start grabbing computers? No, you would have seen one hell of a shooting fight. And Trump's not going to endanger the people living around there, the Americans living around there like that. He's just not going to do that. Not if he has other options, okay? And he has other options at this point. Do I think Mueller's on Trump's side? I'm still half and half on that. I think Mueller would like to get out of it, but I think Trump has something on him. And it has to do with the national security executive orders and acts that have happened since 9/11, and I explained this earlier. The Patriot Act, the NDAA, all of these things. When you kill people to cover up espionage, those are acts of war, essentially. And so Mueller, the way I look at it, if he helped to cover up, for instance, the 9/11 attack, the situation with Hillary Clinton, the Seth Ridge murder, all of these things, and I know he wasn't in power at that point, but what I'm pointing out to you here is if he was involved in any of that, the Uranium One deal and everything that's happened, to the Bundys and to the Hammonds in Oregon and whatever else, they can be classified under the present circumstances as enemy combatants, okay? And in that situation, if Mueller was turned by Trump, because Trump could have told him, hey, look, you're an enemy combatant, you can either deal with me and help me out on this thing, or we're just going to treat you as an enemy combatant right now, and we'll just take you to Guantanamo. I mean, it could have been like that. I don't know. But I think Mueller isn't, in my own personal opinion, I don't think he really wants to go along with it, but he has no choice. And Flynn has all the cards. Flynn has all the cards, and so does Trump. They know everybody. They have everybody pegged. We found out today, and I think I tweeted this out on Twitter, that we just found out that the DOJ has, in fact, had an investigation of the FBI now for like 6 or 8 months. Whoa! because we have been calling for that, and Sessions has been acting like, oh, he's concerned about marijuana and he's concerned about asset forfeiture and all these other things, and he just didn't seem to get going. And now we find out that in fact there's been this ongoing investigation into the FBI and its corruption. Ray's reacting to Christopher Wray, the FBI director, is reacting to it and has said some things. We now know about McCabe. Of course, we've kind of known about that all along. The assistant director, who's dirty. Of course, Comey, and then this other guy. I can never remember his name. He was on Mueller's team. It's a really different name, and I'm sorry, and it's late. But he was supposedly demoted to the Human Resources Department because of his texting about him not liking Trump, and he gave it to his girlfriend. Well, that's all nonsense, because everybody on Mueller's team is anti-Trump. But they have special investigative techniques, gifts, talents that can go into finances, like in the Clinton Foundation, and in really expansive things like that. The Uranium One deal and all that. Even if they're anti-Hillary, they could be tweaked to do this job. So, just kind of watch what's happening here. The storm is here, ladies and gentlemen. It's here, and it's like a cyclone or a hurricane. You're getting the first wave of the winds, and a little signs are getting knocked over in the wind and that kind of thing. We're not in the eye of it. We're just heading into the rough spots right now. Okay, that's the way this is working. Why not Obama? Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, Obama, but that's going to be tricky, because having held a presidential position, there are some other and even I have to admit this, as much as I'd like to jail Obama, and Trump might do it, but there is a problem there with him having been in the office of the president, and I don't know how that's going to work out. But Obama is an evil, evil, evil bastard. And probably in more ways than one. Maybe he's literally a bastard, okay? And I don't care if that's politically incorrect or not. That's just the way it is. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Yeah, I don't know about the flight delays. That's new information for me. Thank you for letting me know. I'll see if I can check into that. Obama violated the Hatch Act? Sure, absolutely. So did McCabe. A lot of them have. Yeah, no doubt. Treason? Yeah, I think Obama's guilty of treason. Certainly Hillary is. And in the real sense, and not just in a conversational sense, but meeting the elements of the crime, absolutely. But I don't know how that's going to end up. And military tribunals do take. Somebody's asking here now, aren't military tribunals under maritime law? Well, when you have a situation where you declare martial law, okay. Then the military tribunals take over, because in this situation, normally we would consider it bad. And I don't like it. Don't misunderstand me. I would rather it not go this way. But our court system is so corrupt. Our Department of Justice is so corrupt. Our U.S. attorneys under the Department of Justice are so corrupt. The FBI is corrupt. There's only one way to clean it out, and that's with the military. I hate to say it, but I have been calling for that for months now, because there really is no other way. Okay? So the military intelligence people take authority over the three-letter agencies when espionage is involved. Okay, under Article 1 of the Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution, and Trump can bring in people under Article 2, Section 2, which is what I've called for, and can use those people specially authorized to circumvent and to have actually power over the three-letter agencies under these circumstances. So that's what we're looking at here. It's kind of late. Maybe I didn't really explain it very well. What about dirty bombs? Yeah, that's always a possibility. Sure, absolutely. Obama, well, we already know he's a shadow president. He started that, right? The shadow government's been here. The deep state's been here. But back after the election, he started, it was talked about, even in the mainstream media, of him being the shadow president, running the shadow government. Absolutely. Sorry, I did answer Harold Savvy's question. It was something about, let me go back to it. I did answer that. I don't want to take time to backtrack here, but I did answer it. Yeah, I already answered that about the crisis actors. Already did it. And I've done it in several videos. Go back and look at my Las Vegas shooting videos, and I'm very, very upfront about that. Okay, what happened there. Oh, your niece died too at the shooting? Morning Flower? I'm sorry. Okay. See, there's another person. Okay. Yeah, this really happened. It did. There were crisis actors, but there were people that actually got hurt and killed too. Absolutely. I'm so sorry, Morning Flower. My friend was shot in the back as well. Okay. Yeah. Um, yeah, it could have been a Fast and Furious type operation gone wrong, but it was bigger than that. It involved the CIA, which of course the FBI is a part of. It involved the Saudi intelligence services, the Saudi military, both the solid behind the prince and the rogues that were behind Talal, okay, Alawid Talal. Yeah, and it was an assassination attempt both on Trump and on Prince Salman. Okay, well it's late. I'm not gonna keep going on this. I don't suppose. Okay, yeah, shut the fuck up. Who are you talking to? This is my program. Unless you're talking to somebody else, I'm not going to make that mistake again. If you're talking to somebody else and I get upset at you, so I'm not going to get upset. Okay, I'll just let it go. But if you don't like what I'm saying, you don't have to be here if you're talking to me. Okay, I think we're done. Thanks everybody. I just wanted to get that information out. Have a good night, and keep your eyes on the horizon, your ears to the ground, and see what's going on. Okay. You misunderstood. We accept that there was probably a live shooting, but no alternate media is reporting the confusion of the crisis actors. I am. I'm talking about that. If you mean Alex Jones, what can I say? Okay? Or anybody else for that matter. The only people that have really, I mean, there have been a lot of people looking at this. Jake Morphonios of End Times Reporting has done an outstanding job. He was on the ground there. Nobody from InfoWars was on the ground in Vegas, okay, or even followed up to the degree that Jake Morphonios has. Jones did have Shepard Ambulis there, and he talked about some of this. They didn't really get into crisis actors, no. I don't even think Jake Morphonios did that, but I did, okay. Why the rest of the alt media is ignoring that, I don't know, but I've already put out the ad that was placed in Craigslist there in Las Vegas on August 15th, I think, asking for crisis actors. And then I commented on some of the footage that we saw that was obviously absent any type of urgency or anything, no blood, nothing. And those were crisis actors, whether videotaped during the drills prior to the event or even during the event. I'm not sure. We also have information, internal memos from one of the hotels talking about having this drill. Okay, but when do these rogue elements in the government, and I'm just going to call them that for the sake of the argument now, when do they commit these horrendous acts? During supposed drills, right? So if they get caught prior to being able to carry out the deadly attack, they can say, oh, it's just part of a drill, right? So yeah, there were crisis actors there. There's no doubt about it. And why the rest of them aren't talking about it? Boy, search me. I don't know. I try to give you all the background information, okay? But why they aren't, ask them. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. I can't answer that question. I really don't know. Okay. What's an MEU? It's a Marine Expeditionary Unit. It all told, it's about between 1,200 and 2,000 people with all of the support equipment, tanks, aircraft, gunships, machine guns, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Yes, Mueller was involved in Uranium One, no doubt about it. Yeah, is he related to Heinrich Mueller, a Nazi Gestapo chief? Could be. I don't know. All right, helicopters. Keep us posted tonight, Roy. Oh, thank you, Spirit of Truth. I appreciate that. So sad. Yeah, rest in peace, Lavoie. Another example of, and I said something about that today on Twitter, I think it was. All of the things that the FBI, HRT, Lon Horiuchi, the attack on Lavoie, the attack on Waco, the attack on Ruby Ridge, all of that. The FBI is a corrupt and murderous organization. It's part of the CIA. Okay, it is. All right, I think we're done. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to sign off. 35 minutes this late at night. I got to go. Thanks for being there. I didn't think anybody would actually show up. We have 538 people on here. Holy mackerel. Well, thank you for giving me a chance to talk to you tonight. Remember to follow Tracy Beans, Scott Anthony, both on Twitter and on YouTube, and Imperator Rex, Imperator underscore Rex 3 on Twitter. Putting out great information, and you'll be well versed and well informed if you listen to them. Okay, thanks everybody. Out here for now.